in the squadron. They called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I haven't really gotten through all the details of what happened at that Virginia University. They call it a known maniac. Old Dominion terrorist Mohammed Baylor Jola was released from prison early despite admitting to helping plot against the United States, plotting attacks against the United States. Old Dominion terrorist Mohammed Baylor Jola had been previously serving time in federal prison for helping to plot a heinous attack against the U.S., but he ended up being cut loose early. The 36-year-old ISIS-linked maniac who was killed when he opened fire at the Virginia University yesterday was sprung from federal custody on December 23, 2024, after serving roughly 8 years of his 11-year sentence. Jola, who was a former member of the Virginia National Guard, was originally sentenced in 2017 after confessing to providing material support to the Islamic State. Wow. His guilty plea came after a 3-month sting operation, which Jola, then 26, made his plans known to a federal government informant, the Justice Department said at the time of his plea deal. Jola claimed to know how to shoot guns and praised the gunman who killed 5 U.S. military members in a terrorist attack in Chattanooga, Tennessee in July of 2015, federal prosecutors wrote. I remember that. Jola also stated that he had been thinking about conducting a similar attack to the terrorist attack at Fort Hood, Texas in November 2009, which killed 13 people and wounded 32 others. Now, this is a guy we should have kept an eye on, right? But the FBI is so totally and completely inept. And they stand for nothing other than self-preservation. Federal Bureau of Investigation, right? Federal Bureau of Investigation. The Bureau must continue. The Fed started probing him at, let's see here. I lost my place. Yeah. The Fed started probing him after Jola, a naturalized citizen from Sierra Leone, made contact with Islamic State members during a 6-month stay in Africa in early 2016. He later told the FBI informant that the Islamic State group had asked if he wanted to participate in an attack. Would you like to do this with us? The terrorist added that he believed it would be better to plan an attack during the month of Ramadan because it was 100% of the right thing, the DOJ said. Ramadan this year ends next week. When he returned to the U.S., Jola tried and failed to obtain firearms in North Carolina. He then went to a gun dealership in Virginia, which sold him an assault rifle that had been rendered inoperable because he left with it, thanks to already being on authorities' radar, the Fed said. Initially, the Justice Department had requested Jola serve a 20-year sentence, citing his multiple attempts to join ISIS and his purchase of the weapon, while his lawyers pushed for 6.5 years. U.S. District Judge Liam O'Grady, let me write that name down. Probably a lib, but let's find out. Liam O'Grady, judge, let's see here. Federal judge, U.S. District Judge, ended up giving him a 11-year sentence. It was not immediately clear why Jola's prison release was ultimately moved up. Inmates can have time shaved off their sentences for a number of reasons, but it isn't yet known what happened in this case. He was still on supervised release at the time of Thursday's rampage, according to records. News of his prior conviction and subsequent release sparked immediate questions as to how a perp with known ties to ISIS was still able to carry out the sickening attack. The horrific tragedy that occurred today on ODU's campus never should have happened, said Congressman Jen Giggins, who represented the congressional district neighboring the university. The Bureau of Prisons did not respond to her. Well, you know what? Probably it is. Fear of Islamophobia. They're phobic about Islamophobia. There's a phobia about Islamophobia. Nobody wants to appear Islamophobic, so they bend over backwards to be Islamo-favoritism, right? Islamo-favor. That's okay. Islama cut them so much slack that you would never cut a Christian or a white person. That kind of favor. Yes, because after all, we don't want to appear what? You don't want to appear smart. You don't want to appear savvy. You don't want to use the experience that you got and the wisdom and what you know. No, don't use any of that crap and just worry about what somebody might say about you on social media. That's the thing. Prosecutors, judges, a lot of big corporations, very, very worried. They live in fear of being mocked or ridiculed or singled out or disparaged or, oh my gosh, the thermonuclear weapon of social media, being called a racist. That is the worst thing in the world. Oh my gosh, what they will do. They will let terrorists out of prison to not be called a racist. It's that devastating. It's, how about that one? Hey, what was Melania doing? Is it also Women's History Month? I'm going to watch the documentary. I didn't get around to it, but I am going to watch it. The documentary featuring her. Here's Melania Trump at the Women's History event. Cut 12, if you don't mind. Cut 12.
The strength of America is closely tied to the role women play in shaping their children's character, education, and morals. The values cultivated within our communities shape the voice and vision of our next generation. A woman's influence strengthens our democracy, capital markets, and time-tested business institution. Across the country today, women are finding unique ways to balance career ambition and family. We all know these incredible women. They dominate America's workforce now more than ever before. As a visionary, I know success is not born overnight, but rather takes shape after a long and sometimes challenging process.
I just love her voice. I love her. Did I tell you I was there when President Trump declared June 16, 2015, and Melania was with him. I did not know it was Melania. I just was like, who is that woman? I had to know. She was on the escalator, and I didn't know. I knew about, it was unbelievable. All I could think about was her. And then afterwards, they're like, what'd you think of the speech? Who is that woman? No, actually, I was able to listen. And you know what I said? My comments actually made history. I want to do a little bit of a reset. We have, from the Pentagon, and there's some information we want to get straightened out. And I want to get some real numbers. It's Hegseth and Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. We got a lot of outstanding issues here. I want to know how we're going to take on these drones and stuff like that. I also want more details on what the hell happened to that KC-135. Okay, shall we? Let's go to the Pentagon, the Secretary of War and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Go.
Have been so quickly destroyed and made combat ineffective, devastated. We said it would not be a fair fight, and it has not been. As I stated during our first press conference on day 2, that was 10 short days ago, the combination of the world's two most powerful air forces is unprecedented and unbeatable. Between our Air Force and that of the Israelis, over 15,000 enemy targets have been struck. That's well over 1,000 a day. No other combination of countries in the world can do that. So today, as we speak, we fly over the top of Iran and Tehran. Fighters and bombers all day picking targets as they choose. As our intelligence gets better and better and more refined. Looking up, the IRGC and Iranian regime sees only two things on the side of aircraft. The Stars and Stripes and the Star of David. The evil regime's worst nightmare. Iran has no air defenses. Iran has no air force. Iran has no navy. Their missiles, their missile launchers and drones.
I want to ask you guys, does he sound a little emphatic, a little bit too emphatic, a little bit almost like he's trying to convince himself? I don't know. It feels like it's inherently hostile.
Like overly confident?
Like a little bit braggy in a way that suggests he's not as confident as he should be. Yes? No?
Not really.
Not really? So what do you hear? Tell me what you hear.
I hear maybe overly confident, possibly. Like you still gotta...
I don't know.
They're doing great, but you still got to like kind of keep your foot on the gas, so to speak.
When you kill 5,000 targets, you don't have to we killed 5,000 targets. Like, you don't have to,
bragging.
The facts speak for themselves. Let the facts speak. How about you?
I think he's trying to become a character here. I think he's trying to make himself more emphatic than he actually is. He wants to be involved too much.
There's something off, quite frankly. Now, look, we're allowed to say these things. I want everybody, they got a lot of Hegseth fans out there, and I had my concerns about him early on. This is just a modification. I would like to see a modification. Hegseth has been excellent on policy, much to my surprise. He's been excellent, especially the Quantico speech. But this is a little bit much, and let's see what happens next. Go ahead.
Drones being destroyed or shot out of the sky. Their missile volume is down 90%. Their one-way attack drones yesterday, down 95%. And as the world is seeing, they are exercising sheer desperation in the Straits of Hormuz. Something we're dealing with. We have been dealing with it, and don't need to worry about it. We're on plan to defeat, destroy, disable all of their meaningful military.
All right, hold on a second. It's okay to worry about things. You don't have to worry about it. That makes me worry about it a little bit more. All right? I think, quite frankly, what is the phrase that comes to mind? Trying too hard. I think he's just got to, chill out a little bit. And you can still be totally focused and professional, right? But when somebody talks like this, it makes me a little bit, you know what I mean? Okay, does he really have it? What do you think, Pete? Yeah, kind of, right? He doesn't have a microphone yet. He's supervising you guys. Too busy supervising you guys. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's trying to prove it to himself, it seems like.
Excellent. Now, you guys aren't just agreeing with me for agreeing with me, are you?
Say that again?
You're not just agreeing with me because...
No, it just
got
sounds
my own
like
brain.
All right.
He's repeating himself.
Sorry. All right.
No,
Yeah. Thank you. No more questions, you guys. Why? Thank you. Go back to it if you don't mind.
At a pace the world has never seen before. But it's not just that Iran doesn't have a functioning air force, or that their entire navy is at the bottom of the Persian Gulf, or their missile force is shrinking daily. Even more importantly, they also don't have the ability to build more. That's the most important component I'd like to emphasize today. Soon and very soon, all of Iran's defense companies will be destroyed. For example, as of 2 days ago, Iran's entire ballistic missile production capacity, every company that builds every component of those missiles, has been functionally defeated, destroyed. Buildings, complexes, and factory lines all across Iran destroyed. So we're shooting down and destroying what missiles they still have in stock, but more importantly, ensuring that they have no ability to make more. Their production lines, their military plants, their defense innovation centers, defeated. Iran's leadership is in no better shape. Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground, cowering. That's what rats do. We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader...
Stop. All right. I don't think it's good for the Secretary of Defense to call the enemies rats. As I say, this is not for podcast bros. This is... You don't disrespect your enemy needlessly, right? You'll make them fight. You'll give them more reason to fight when they have no reason to fight. You make surrender look even, you don't want that. You actually want them to save face. This is where he goes too far. That's the way I feel. And that's the way I know too. Oh, by the way. All right. I don't make too much of it. Some people think I do. Some people say I don't talk about it enough. But I was in the military, active duty for 9 years, 9 long years. My first affiliation with the military started when I was 19 years old. I left active duty when I was 31. I stayed in the reserves until I was, 43? All right. I know something about military culture. I know what's taught, and I know that this is not appropriate. All right. Not saying that we don't support our guys out there, our guys and our women, right? They're amazing warriors, but be smart about it. I've seen mistakes of all kinds coming from the Pentagon. All right. And this is one of them. I'll be right back.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Let us try a phone call or two. I'm going to go to, who do we have here? Robert. He's in North Carolina. Where in North Carolina are you?
Morganton.
Where's that?
Western North Carolina.
Where's that?
Western North Carolina.
Western. Oh, yeah. All right. What's up?
Hi. I looked at military ranks. I didn't see commander. Who comes to mind is Commander Denton.
I don't know who Commander Denton is. Wait.
Remember Jeremiah Denton?
Oh, Jeremiah. No. I know who he was. Jeremiah Denton was shot down. He was flying an A-6 intruder, shot down in Vietnam, and he sent back Morse code with his eyes, right?
Yes. I didn't see the rank of commander, though.
What do you mean you didn't see the... Yes, there is. It's a Navy rank. It's 05.
Oh,
05.
okay.
It's the equivalent of a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong? What do you mean you didn't see that rank? Where would you have noticed it the first time? Why? What are you talking about?
I looked on the web. I was just searching online to see what the military ranks were in the various services. Yours is actually quite good. You're a man of accomplishment.
No kidding, pal, right? I could have been a general if I wanted to.
I salute you.
Carry on. That's okay. No, thank you very much. Jeremiah Denton is an amazing story. I first learned about it when I was a kid, 4th grade. There was a TV movie, a television movie. Jeremiah Denton was a Navy pilot, gets shot down, and, Hanoi Hilton, torture and all that stuff. And he knows Morse code, and they also practice Morse code. That's how they communicated with each other, the prisoners, right? ... .. by tapping things. And then they said to him, we want you to make a statement, to our camera, telling everybody back home that you're fine. And he agreed, but he was tapping out with his eyeballs, torture, right? That everything is fine. And meanwhile, he's sending a Morse code signal with his eyes, torture. Just an amazing story. And he comes back, and by the way, I think he became a U.S. Senator. I think he was elected to something. What made you think of him?
Because I didn't see the rank of commander, and I remembered him.
Yeah, well, maybe you were working. You know what you were probably doing? If you didn't see commander, you probably didn't see lieutenant commander. You probably see the Navy has another system. They have ensign, lieutenant JG, lieutenant. It's different from the Army and the Navy. The Army and the Air Force and the Marine Corps. Right? So you were looking at some other services thing. It's all a little bit peculiar. We all have our own peculiarities. Thank you very much. You know what? I'm going to do something with that. I'm going to make a video later on, and I'm going to include the Jeremiah Denton chapter. Very interesting story, and people should know it. Thank you, sir, very, very much. All the best to my friends in North Carolina. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So how worried are we about gas prices? I know the people out there who drive a lot. It's a real bottom line kind of thing, right? I mean, it's, you feel it. You feel it right away. Taxi drivers, Uber drivers, any driver, right? And sometimes you can absorb it and sometimes you can't. Can be rather tough. Now, then again, we do have to, from time to time, we're never really called upon in this country to sacrifice, right? When the hell is the last time we've had to give up anything? Anything. I'm trying to think of, we gave up our freedom during COVID. How about that? Yeah, that was weird. Won't be doing that again. Give me liberty or give me death. Whatever happened to that mantra? Seriously. Ugh. So we sacrificed a whole hell of a lot. But then again, they had to pay us off with those PPE loans. Well, I guess we did sacrifice a lot. We're capable of it, but I have noticed that, oh my gosh, I can't, when President Trump said maybe little girls don't need $37, he had such a great point. I looked over in the toy area of my little girls. I mean, they have plastic and stuff and this and that. I mean, Barbie has a hotel. Barbie has a private jet. Barbie has a dollhouse. Barbie has a playhouse. Barbie has Ken. Ken has Barbie. All this crap. And it's all from China. And it's all unnecessary, you know? I mean, kids get bored of stuff real quick. You know, I saw this Amish kid once. Guess what his toy was? A wooden duck. That's all he had. It was actually kind of pathetic when you think about it. But he thought it was the best thing in the world, and he played with it like just this wooden duck. Fascinated the kid for like 2 years. I think we need a bit more stimulation than that. But then again, we don't need all this cheap crap from China. Let's go back to the Pentagon, if you don't mind. I want to hear the rest of this Hegseth Raising Cain brief. Go ahead.
Is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually, but there was no voice and there was no video. It was a written statement. He called for unity. Apparently killing tens of thousands of protesters is his kind of unity. Iran has plenty of cameras and plenty of voice recorders. Why a written statement? I think you know why. His father, dead. He's scared, he's injured, he's on the run, and he lacks legitimacy. It's a mess for them. Who's in charge? Iran may not even know. With every passing hour, we know, and we know they know, that the military capabilities of their evil regime are crumbling. They can barely communicate, let alone coordinate. They're confused, and we know it. Our response? We will keep pressing. We will keep pushing, keep advancing, no quarter, no mercy for our enemies. Yet some in this crew, in the press, just can't stop. Allow me to make a few suggestions. People look up at the TV and they see banners, they see headlines. I used to be in that business. And I know that everything is written intentionally. For example, a banner or a headline, Mideast war intensifies, splashing on the screen the last couple of days, alongside visuals of civilian or energy targets that Iran has hit, because that's what they do. What should the banner read instead? How about Iran increasingly desperate? Because they are. They know it, and so do you, if it can be admitted. Or more fake news from CNN. Reports that the Trump administration underestimated the Iran war's impact on the Strait of Hormuz. Patently ridiculous, of course. For decades, Iran has threatened shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. This is always what they do, hold the strait hostage. CNN doesn't think we thought of that. It's a fundamentally unserious report. The sooner David Ellison takes over that network, the better. Another example of a fake headline that I saw yesterday. War widening. Here's a real headline for you for an actual patriotic press. How about Iran shrinking, going underground? You see, Iran's leaders are hiding in bunkers and moving into civilian areas. The only thing that is widening is our advantage. Not to mention our Gulf partners.
You know, I want to just jump in for a second. They have not been doing these organized briefings enough. They're not an everyday thing. And, you know, if he's frustrated about how it's being portrayed, they could give a more steady stream of updates, I think. I just, you know, and quite frankly, you're kind of quibbling, all right? The war is intensifying. That's not the worst thing in the world, right? Oh, they're desperation. Well, you know, we don't have any people in Iran. It's hard for us to assess that. You know, one thing, I hated the Iraq war. But guess what? I saw the Iraq war up close, in personal. I was right there. You know why? I was embedded. They had this program embedded. They embedded U.S. troops with media with U.S. troops. I was with the 3rd Infantry Division, 2nd Brigade Combat Team. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, they're not going to show us anything. I saw everything. I saw everything there is to see in war. I saw it. And we could have done something like that here. We could have embedded, believe it or not, you could embed journalists in aircraft. It's been done before. You can do it on a broader scale, or at least a few. I remember Tom Brokaw got a ride in an F-18. All right, that's possible. You could do that. Why didn't we do it? Why aren't we doing it? I think that that would have been very beneficial. We don't have nearly enough media presence. We have basically no media presence in Iran. It's very hard for us to tell this stuff. Keep going.
Even more now going on the offense, and have always been with us on the defense with collective and integrated air defenses. Our will It is unshakable. Our options maximized, and our capabilities still building. We're going up, they're going down. As I said from the start, President Trump holds the cards. He'll determine the pace, the tempo, and the timing of this conflict. His hand firmly on the wheel, as well as on the throttle setting. America first, peace through strength in action. From day one, as our nation expects and the president demands, our warriors have fought with lethality, precision, and rapid innovation. In fact, today will be, yet again, the highest volume of strikes that America has put over the skies of Iran and Tehran. The number of sorties and number of bomber pulses, the highest yet, ramping up and only up.
Like intensifying.
And quantity has a quality of its own as we continue to ramp up. Every tool of AI, of cyber, of space, EW, counter-UAS, you name it, we're employing it. Blinding, confusing, and deceiving our enemy. Because we know who the good guys are here. And the American people do too. And that makes my job simple. I serve God, the troops, the country, the Constitution, and the President of the United States, and answer only to those. All in service of victory on the battlefield and the military objectives that we've laid out from day one. Defeat the missiles, missile launchers, and defense industrial base, which I laid out today. Defeat the Navy and deny Iran the ability to have a nuclear weapon. Clear, decisive, achievable. And Admiral Cooper knows, the CENTCOM commander who we spent a couple of hours with last night, that in pursuit of those objectives, we have his back in every way.
Stop for a second. Has he mentioned the 6 troops who got killed in that KC-135? I don't think he has. That's a little bit of a bizarre omission. I mean, it's not like we have so many deaths that you don't acknowledge them from the... I hope that he mentioned them earlier, and it was cut off somehow. All right, pick it up.
His commanders know that, and so do the troops in harm's way. Admiral Cooper gets what he needs, the assets, the authorities, the munitions, you name it. We will stop at nothing to win. War is hell. War is chaos. And as we saw yesterday with the tragic crash of our KC-135
Here we go.
tanker,
Good.
Bad things can happen. American heroes. All of them. And as I have with all of them, as we have, we will greet those heroes at Dover, and their sacrifice will only recommit us to the resolve of this mission. But war in this context and in pursuit of peace is necessary, which is why each day...
All right, so real quick, quibbling here. I mean, you know what? I would have mentioned that before I went off on CNN. Okay, that's all. All right, keep it. One more time.
Continue to appeal to heaven, to Almighty God's providence, to watch over and give special skill and confidence to our leaders and to our warriors. To those warriors who this nation prays for every single day, I hear from all of you out there who pray for them every day. Stay on bended knee and pray for them. I continue to say to them, Godspeed. May the Lord bless you and keep keep going. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us today. Before I start with an update, I also want to address the tragic loss of our KC-135 refueling aircraft yesterday. The incident occurred over friendly territory in western Iraq while the crew was on a combat mission, and again was not the result, as CENTCOM has said, was not the result of hostile or friendly fire. We're still treating this as an active rescue and recovery operation. As CENTCOM announced this morning, 4 airmen have been recovered, and the Air Force and U.S. Central Command will provide updates as information becomes available. Please keep these brave airmen, their families, friends, and units in your thoughts in the coming hours and days. Our service members make an incredible sacrifice to go forward and do the things that the nation asks of them. It's a reminder of the true cost of the dedication and commitment of the Joint Force. We're also aware of a fire on board the USS Gerald R. Ford. We're thinking about the crew there who were injured in the fire. We believe and hope that everyone will be okay, and we're grateful for that. And for any further questions on that, we'd refer you to NavCent or to the Navy.
All right, stop.
This morning we enter the 13th...
Stop. This is the kind of thing I'm a little bit worried about. What the hell? There was a fire on an aircraft carrier? How? How did it start? Ask questions of who? You're right there. You see? This is the kind of thing that makes me a little bit nervous. Fire on the aircraft carrier? How did it start? Was it a missile? Was it burned dinner? What the freaking hell happened? Jeez. All right. Pick it up there, Raisin.
Day of Operation Epic Fury, and we continue to make progress towards our military objectives. As the Secretary said, today will be our heaviest day of kinetic fires across the operating area. CENTCOM continues to attack ballistic missile and drone capabilities so that they are no longer a threat to U.S. forces, our bases, or our partners. They're continuing to destroy the Iranian Navy.
Stop! I just found out the laundry caught fire. There's a problem with the laundry. So it wasn't phew. I hope they're not screwing us around, jerking us around. The laundry. Well, anything you do in the military is big. You know what I mean? It's all industrialized, right? Everything is big. Got 5,000 guys in there. The laundry is huge. Keep it up.
Freedom of navigation, and this means going after Iran's mine-laying capability and destroying their ability to attack commercial vessels. And we're targeting their defense industrial base so they cannot rebuild the capabilities that can harm America's interests or our partners in the future. As Admiral Cooper said in his update on Wednesday, Iranian combat power continues to decline as a result of the continued strikes, as the Secretary talked about. We've attacked over 6,000 targets, and our strike packages continue to launch every hour, and we've maintained an unprecedented number of sorties up overhead of Iran. CENTCOM is now persistently over the enemy, and a result, we've seen a reduction in missile and one-way attack fires, as the Secretary said. In less than 2 weeks, we've rendered the Iranian Navy combat ineffective and continue to attack naval vessels, including all of their Soleimani-class warships, which were armed with anti-ship missiles and anti-aircraft weapons. We've made progress, but Iran still has the capability to harm friendly forces and commercial shipping, and our work on this effort continues. But I want to make something clear. The only thing preventing commercial traffic and flow through the Straits right now, which there is some through the Straits, is Iran. They are the belligerents here holding the Straits closed, although there is some traffic moving through there. We've made it a priority to target Iran's mine-laying enterprise, their mine layers, the naval bases and depots, in addition to the missiles that could influence the Straits, and CENTCOM continues to attack those efforts. And we continue to make progress on the industrial base to include factories, weapons warehouses that are stored in, and we will continue to do so in the coming days.
All right, man, I'm a little bit suspicious, all right? I'm just a little bit suspicious right now, and I got to revisit a couple of things. 3 airplanes were shot down in the friendly fire incident, right? 3 F-15 shot down in a row. The more I think about it, the weirder it gets, okay? Just be straight with us. Now, sometimes in warfare, you can't, all right? There's got to be, sometimes in warfare, you have to, what's the word? Lie a little bit. You do. You lie. You can't let the enemy know everything. You can't necessarily you should let your people know everything. Look, there is such a thing as information operations. It's necessary sometime. Give me a moment, all right? I got to check something. I'll be right back.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So I think I'll take a call or two. Let's try Tim in Queens. Hello.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to say real quick, with what happened yesterday at the Old Dominion College, with what happened in Michigan with the guy ramming the synagogue and then trying to shoot up the place, with what happened at City Hall with these two guys throwing an IED bomb at a crowd, we all know what they have in common, and we have to be willing to say it. They were all Islamic, okay? Islam is not just a religion. It's a dangerous political ideology. And look, we have to be willing to face it and say it and not be afraid of being called politically incorrect or Islamophobic or whatever. I know there are plenty of good and decent Muslims. I'm not saying it's every Muslim, but Islam as a whole is a dangerous religion, and it's trying to take over Western civilization. And you know what? We better face those facts pretty fast.
Well, you got a couple of people nodding their head, and James Flippin is clapping. I feel like I got to offer a disclaimer or two. I mean, largely, I'm not going to argue with you. I've got grave concerns. I don't know enough about Islam. All right. I don't, quite frankly, I mean, when I think about it, I don't think I know any Muslims. I used to, but I don't talk to that guy anymore because I don't like him. It has nothing to do with his faith. He just totally screwed me over. And, I just don't like the guy. It has nothing to do. We were good friends for a while. It has nothing to do with him being Muslim. I couldn't believe it. Never mind. We got grave concerns here. We got to figure this thing out. And, Now, you know what? I do know that our religion, my religion in particular, Christianity, people lie about it, right? People lie about it all the time, and they selectively pick from the Bible, and they say, you see, it says this. Aha, yeah, right. It's violent, it's this, it's that. And some people want to cancel the Bible because it has all kinds of things in there. Let's face it, it's got incest in there. It's got fratricide. It's got all kinds of crazy stuff in there. But it's that stuff is not... it's descriptive. It's reportage, quite frankly. It's not like do this. It's just summarizing events. And then it's the outcome and that kind of thing. It doesn't necessarily mean, that it's saying that those things are good. It's actually not saying that at all. So yeah, look, I want to know more, quite frankly, about Islamic, terrorism, right? I saw this. Yeah. I saw this, Islamic terrorism. I feel like I know it. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, I've read through both. I've read through the Quran, and I would say the main difference is between, let's say, Jesus and Muhammad. After reading through the Quran, if I said the wrong thing to Muhammad, I feel like he would probably kill me. If I said the wrong thing to Jesus, he would give me a hug. That's the best way I can sum it up. And I read through a lot of the Quran. It has some good things in there as well. I'm not saying it's all bad. It has some beautiful things in there as well, but there's a lot of violence in there.
All right. I'm going to check it out. I mean, there's a lot of, I want to know more. I want to know. But Islamic inspired terrorism, ISIS stuff is everywhere. We know it, and it's a huge problem, and it's got to be confronted. Thank you. Experts say this flu season is the worst we've seen in years. Either way, you know how this goes. Every year, someone in my family gets sick, then everyone gets sick. And suddenly you're fighting to see a doctor or stuck waiting in a crowded urgent care. Not this year. I am ready. I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's been a lifesaver. My kit is stocked with essential prescription medication, antibiotics like a generic Z-Pack to help you recover faster, amoxicillin for pneumonia, strep throat, ear infections, prescriptions for nausea, UTIs, and they have ivermectin in there. It's simple. Match your symptoms in the guidebook or call the telemedicine doctor standing by. Start treatment early. Feel better faster. No waiting rooms. No pharmacy lines. I love my medical emergency kit, and you should get one too. I got you $45 off when you use my code Greg. Just go to urgentcarekit.com/Greg. That's urgentcarekit.com/Greg. Promo code Greg. That guy reminds me, James Flippin, you too. I remember where anytime that there was a mass shooting and there happened to be a white shooter, right? They talk about toxic masculinity. They talk about whiteness being the problem, right? And that was totally encouraged, and it happened all over the place. And people like Joe Biden would say it, and now people ask similar questions about Islam, the Muslim, and don't do it. Well, you know what? Everybody needs to get real.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?